Hey guys, back here with Craig, Lloyd on the left here. This is yours truly on the right. Just want to go over the first and second pull here. Talking about patience and how we can stay over the barbell a little bit longer, the weight transfer in the first pull into the second pull, and kind of see what happens once a few things go wrong in our first pull, which lead right into the second pull. Couple things on this setup here. You can see the knees are shot a little bit forward. We do want that weight to be shifted a little bit more into the into our toes off the start. You can see how the balance is a little bit off here. The back isn't exactly as tight as it is on the right over here, but really not too terrible. Just a couple positioning things we want to think about. You can see this white line illustrates the bar path as we come up. And what I want to point out in this is this just below the knee position here. You can start to see that we're jumping off the ground here as opposed to segregating the two pulls from below the knee to above the knee. As this bar comes up, you can see this completely straight bar path coming up. This is not something that we really want. If you can see over on the right here, as I come up, we're coming back into the body. That bar's coming into our hips and up. With Craig over here on the left, this bar is coming straight up and around our knees. You can see that his knees actually do push back, but because he's not activating with his lats and pulling that bar in, he goes around his knees here, and you can actually tell at this angle that the knees are pushing back. The bar is not getting pulled back into our body, and it creates this gap between our body and the bar. And what happens is when we lead into the second pull, you can see that as soon as we get by our knees, he goes into this jump, but instead of jumping with our legs, the first thing that initiates this jump is our back, and our chest flies up here. I hope we can see in this right how we're not jumping below the knee. We're controlling the bar into our body, controlling until we get to the second pull. Now we're above the knee. Hamstrings are loaded, feet are completely flat on the floor, chest over the bar, bars pulled into our body, and then we can finish the second pull and getting into that power position here. As we go to the left and look what's going on, we come off the ground, the knees push back, but the bar doesn't come in, so the weight stays forward instead of shifting back. The weight staying forward out over his toes, and then we go to recover. And yes, he's able to pull it in after he gets by his knees, but you can start to see it's all chest. And then right here, we're at mid-thigh, and his feet have already started coming up off the ground because that weight's pulling him forward. If we come over to the right here, and we can kind of see that mid-thigh position right here, feet are completely flat on the floor, and we're balanced going into the second pull and into the power position. You see that double knee bend, the knees come forward again, chest is completely vertical going into that pull, whereas Craig over here on the left, we have this early arm bend, the weight's forward, we're jumping off of our toes, and we're losing a lot of power. Now, quick fixes in this, we can see, all I'd like to do, we're going to push those knees back slightly, set that back a little bit tighter, and this is going to allow us to drive out of the legs. So as we drive out of the legs, we're going to activate these lats and pull that bar into our body, especially here. This is where we lose the lift right here. If we can pull that bar back into our body and get that bar into our hips better, we're going to be much stronger, not jumping early with our toes. This early arm bend and this bent elbow position here is going to be completely avoided because our weight's going to be balanced. You can see on the right here, as we get by, I don't have to worry about pulling early with my arms because the bar is completely balanced, and then we get to the power position and drive up and finish. Teaching points here: being balanced off the ground, finding that midfoot, activating your lats, activating your lats, activating your lats. We have to keep that bar into our body. If we don't, the bar gets out in front of us at this angle right here, at this position right here, and we lose it. The only way to recover from this, chest flies up, hips come through too early, bar goes completely straight up. It's actually not a bad recovery because he's able to handle the weight, but we can be significantly stronger loading those hamstrings, keeping that bar into our body. Over on the right here we can see the bar stays in tight, controlling the bar into the power position in the finish. Feet flat on the ground, and we go. Hope this helps, guys. Add any questions or comments below, and let us know what you think.